Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. Time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. And we are looking at the Class 802, the Transpennine Express. As you can see, I have it set up for 3 different routes right now, and I'm using the train limitation here to show all scenarios with a specific train. You can do the same thing with the route, obviously. I usually do that in my introductions, but I'm doing it with a train today because I want to show you the 3 scenarios in order, starting with the Liverpool to Manchester, then Huddersfield line, and then a route that I have not visited yet, the modern version of the East Coast Main Line from DP Simulation, available on the website. That one is going to possibly be coming up on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know. I'll talk about this a little more, actually, because I've had a very busy week, a very, very tight timetable for getting these up before I'm whisked away again. I've literally not had time to actually put together a whole backlog of videos to just dip into here, so I'm just having a bit of a challenge trying to get everything going for you here. I may have to cut back to 2 a week temporarily while I do this, but for right now I'm going to try and get these 3 up for you this week. So we are looking at the Liverpool to Manchester Piccadilly via Warrington Central today. There is a storyline. This is a Chat Moss train, but there's a problem on the Chat Moss track right now. A storm in the night caused uprooted trees on the track and some cables have snapped, so the Chat Moss line is closed. Drive a Class 802 via Warrington Central up to Deansgate, where the train reverses to proceed to Manchester Victoria. So basically, we're going to get to the Ordswell Junction, whatever it's called, and it's going to continue through Salford Central and to Manchester Victoria without us. We will then pick up the service at Manchester Victoria on the Huddersfield line to take it to Leeds. After a skip here, we're going to pick up at York, because we don't have there is an on-track simulation route between Leeds and York. And there's also another one from a different website as well. But neither of these would work in the workshop because they're not available on Steam. Or they have elements that are not in the workshop. So even then, they still wouldn't work in the workshop because the route's not in the workshop, obviously. So we have to skip that segment, and there's no scenario for that as a result. So this is actually part 3. We're not skipping a part. It is actually part 3. So these are all 3 scenarios in the set. We're going to end up the entire sequence at Newcastle. And I don't know what the timetable is in any of these. I haven't looked up the service from Liverpool to Newcastle, so I don't know the details. We're going to find out what the scenario we have shows us. And because we're on an alternate route, I'm going to assume we're not really doing any pickup except maybe Warrington Central. I'm not sure. We might make a stop at Warrington Central to make up for a stop missed somewhere else. But it might just be an express to Victoria anyway, in which case... to Manchester Victoria anyway, in which case we may just go to Deansgate and stop. We'll find out. Let's get started and find out, shall we? Hello, driver. Open the doors and prepare the train. You will be diverted via Warrington Central and reverse at Deansgate as a storm last night uprooted trees and snapped cables on Chat Moss line, which is now closed, with 2 spaces apparently. You will call at Widnes and Warrington Central, where a bus is arranged for passengers. So we are making stops at Widnes and Warrington Central. More stops than I expected. So buses are arranged to get them to other locations on the Chat Moss line that they would have otherwise been stopping at. Not a bad setup, actually. I have a feeling we're going to stop at Edge Hill as well. So let's go ahead and get this started. We will bring up our timetable. And I'm not going to show you around the train right now, A, because I have a limited amount of time to do this. And B, the manual for the Armstrong Powerhouse version of the train, I don't think shows the buttons, which I find really strange. So we're just going to go ahead and follow the setup instructions, and I'll tell you how that works. And then we're going to get going here. So let's get the train set up. And as you can see, we have some pop-up boxes coming up as we get things going here. So I'll go ahead and do this. And we have to put the master key in, which you notice it doesn't go up and down right now. We have to put the master key in. So we use Shift W, just like with the 66. It's now in. We push down. Goes to 100%. So we're going to press F to cancel the train fault alarm. There's the AWS self-test for Q. We have to make sure the headlights... Thank you. We have to make sure our headlights are working. I'll check that in a minute. I'm going to open the doors, so I think we have to open the doors here. So let's make sure we pick up some passengers here. Don't mess this up because I'm already running late. Great start. Great start. So while the passengers are boarding, we're going to check our destination, make sure we're going to the correct place. We want to make sure it says Newcastle, so we will do that. So let's go ahead and check those 2 things right now, actually, because those are the other main things I have to do. Here are the headlights. So headlights have their various settings. I don't know what the right setup is for the correct light, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that works. Maybe I'll find a switch in the cab, I don't know, but I'm not going to waste time because I can't really see it in front of me in the daytime anyway. It doesn't show up in the daytime, so they're just on. Okay, so let's find the display. Where's the display? I want to find a display to work with. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in this way because you would think the passengers would see it. Let's try F7, F8 for a moment. We're going to find out. Aberdeen. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and shuffle it this way. F8 moves you forward. F7 moves you backward. So that's how we make our way around here. So I'm going to move this up to Newcastle because that is where we're going. And I don't know if it's continuing at Edinburgh, but for right now I'll just say Newcastle. Because I believe if I were to check the information, it will be Newcastle. So let's go ahead and pop out for a second, hit F6. It doesn't say. So service 1P19, you can go ahead and look it up. This is a recently made scenario based on, I think it was the May 2022 timetable. So you can look it up based on the 1P19 in that timetable. It's that train. If it's Edinburgh, then I would change it to say Edinburgh. But I have a feeling it's Newcastle. That might be the end of our service. End of my service, anyway. So let's go ahead. As we know, departure is about to come. I would normally take a moment to look at the train, but I have one more thing to do. So in the cab we go. I have to hit the Y key to turn off that little light up there that you see, the driver reminder appliance. You can see that there are a number of other buttons here as well. For example, over here you can see that there is a rear preparation button. Don't ask me what that does. There's a forward preparation. It might be for shunting and connecting to other things, other vehicles. So we're going to Widnes. Let's go ahead and get this train on the move. Here we go. And let's make sure my task is complete. Yes, it is. So leaving Liverpool-Lime Street, we're going to get ourselves to a speed limit of 15 miles per hour. Our first stop is Widnes for a replacement bus service. I wonder if we're going to see some kind of destruction on the early part of the Chatmoss line. I'm guessing not. But either way, it's clear there's enough cleared in the Manchester area to get on to the junction and move back to Victoria, Manchester Victoria. So at least that part should be open. Now, I believe the Liverpool-Lime Street in this DLC is the older setup. So you're going to have to forgive the little bit of creative liberty here. Because this is an old version of Liverpool-Lime Street, we're going to have the old platform numbers. So this platform setup that you see back here is not going to be correct for today's service on the 2022 timetable. It is not correct. So don't expect it to be. I think that layout was changed something like 2018, 2019. I'm not sure the exact date, but something in that range it was changed. You can see, of course, there are trains coming in. There's service 1B04. Putting a little bit of throttle back on to get back up to 15 miles per hour. Being a user-created scenario, I suspect that there will be some leeway. Oh, there actually is no other timetable stop. Fantastic. I can do whatever I need to do, guys. I can do whatever I need to do. I can speed if I want to. Freedom! No points means do it all in one go and easy editing, right? Right. So I believe we are going to have a 20 at some point up ahead on a junction, but for right now we're allowed to go up to 40 before I drop to 30 miles per hour. We're going to get a chance to see how the brakes work. So I'm going to use... normally you would run a brake test, but because we're in game, we know the brakes are always going to work. I'll get a feel for how the brakes work when I do make my first brake application for the 30 up ahead. There is actually 25. I said it was a 20. My mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and get up to 35. Maybe a little higher. We'll see how the brakes slow down from there. Another service over there. I didn't get the label for it in time, but feel free to pause if you want to see it. Oh, I actually do the brake on this. Perfect. Now I have picked it up. I have the brake on the same control. It's a combined brake and throttle and brake. So we're down to 30 now. I'm on a bit of an uphill, so I am going to have a little bit of speed loss on the hill. That means that my minimal throttle right now is still losing speed on what is now a 1 in 133, 36, 29, 129 gradient. 130, 136. It'll decide. Either way, I am under the 30 speed limit, so I am doing okay. This would be Edge Hill. Now, as we get going, I want to tell you a little bit about this Class 800. So I'm going to see what I can give you in terms of information here, and we'll talk about this briefly. The Class 800 was developed and produced alongside an electric-only... Oops, I'm speeding. Oh, so much for trying to be the informative gent. This is what happens when you get distracted, kids. Don't do this when there's points on the line. Or do it and laugh later. So the Class 800 was developed and produced alongside an electric-only Class 801 variant, which we are familiar with. Now we can go 30, of course. As part of the Intercity Express program, IEP, to procure replacements for the Intercity 125 and Intercity 225 fleets of high-speed trains. The trains were manufactured by Hitachi between 2014 and 2018 at Hitachi's Newton Aycliffe manufacturing facility using body shells shipped from the company's Kasato works in Japan, which is why they look like Japanese trains. Similar bimode units have also been produced by Hitachi as the Class 802, which actually I was talking about the 800, but this is the 802. This is the bimode unit, Class 802, that we are driving today. So the Class 800s came into service on the Great Western Main Line in 2017. One's on the East Coast Main Line 2019. I did see a story, and I do remember this was big news. There was a story about fatigue cracking and corrosion on the aluminum vehicle body shells. So that was a big story, and trains were shut down. All services by that train were shut down for a day, causing mass congestion on the rails on other services. So there was, it might have even been longer than it might have been a week, I don't know. It was an extended period of time, I thought. So it was a major story about the safety of these new model trains, and they had to come up with a solution in a hurry to solve that problem. So I'm not sure what they did with that, but issues with overheating engines during summer months have also been reported. So there are still other issues with these trains as well. We're about to enter an 80 mile per hour speed limit. Now these trains did have a bit of a hand in replacing the Class 800 units. So these, not the class, sorry, I said that wrong. The Class 225, the Intercity 225, the high-speed train. I guess it's actually the 43, Class 43. And there were two different Class 43, so we are talking about the high-speed one, not the variant of the Class 42. So we did replace the Intercity Class 43 on the various lines it ran on, and the HST had an emotional series of farewell trips, I'm pretty sure. After its 40 years being a fan favorite. In 2019, the last ones ran. The last one being out of London Paddington, I believe for... I'm going to kick myself. I saw this video recently. I can't remember where it went. To a location that it routinely ran to. I honestly can't remember. It begins with a T. I just can't think of it. I'm going to kick myself. Coming up to a 70 mile per hour speed limit out of the 80 we're currently in, so we're not going to take our way all the way to the 70. We're going to stay at, or we're not going to go all the way to 80. We're going to stay at 70. Sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the throttle right here. And drop it. And it's actually gaining more speed because we're on a slight downhill. 1 in 113. We're catching up to somebody. That's an ECS over there, you can see. We're being given a double yellow signal warning us of a junction change. There's a 20 up ahead, so I'm putting a small brake on to lower our speed. I'm going to let it go gradually from there. Now you probably notice I've not been naming the stations as I passed them. I just didn't have my notes up yet, and I'm scrambling around to find them. I just kept bringing up the wrong file. So I can tell you that we are passing other stations along here, and I just don't have on hand which ones they all are yet. Widnes is obviously going to be coming up, but we're not at Widnes yet. I know we saw Mossley Hill, or at least it's coming up, if we haven't already seen it. Liverpool South Parkway is obviously going to be coming. Hunts Cross is somewhere in here as well, but I think Liverpool South Parkway is the next station. There's that ECS again. Need to hurry this down to 20. We have our junction with a yellow signal, so technically the next signal could very well be a red at this point. We have to assume it could be a red. So we got down to our necessary speed limit of 20 miles per hour. We're going to make our way up to 30. And that's going to be in a moment, not yet. You can see there's a further 85 limit up ahead as well. Is that a live train? No, that's a train in the yard. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, with this being a replacement service in the storyline, I wonder whether the service actually was inviting people to head to Warrington Central to hop on rather than just being a substitute service. So I have a feeling they probably combined the two services, and everyone just traveled in style on 802. That might be what happened in the storyline here, but don't know. Doesn't matter. There's another yard train over there. Very nice. I thought I saw a green signal on the yard over there. What was that? That was funny. Oh, because there's another track. Got it. Okay. So maybe that train, I didn't bring it, see if it listed a service, but maybe that train goes through that line later. I don't know. I have a feeling that line ends, though. So probably not. So we are about 5 miles, or 5.5 miles or so from Widnes. Another train going by. So you are going to be passing Halewood at some point here. That should be the next station, I believe. We did go through Liverpool South Parkway on that curve. This would actually be Halewood right here, I believe. No, Hunts Cross. Okay, I am lost. That was Hunts Cross. What do you know? What do you know? I forgot Hunts Cross is in the middle. That's my memory going awry, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long week, okay? I've been working a lot this week. But Halewood is the next station now. I'm fairly sure about that one. Then we'll pass Howes Green, and finally we'll arrive at Widnes for our first stop. There's Halewood. So we're getting ourselves up to our 85-mile-per-hour speed limit in this train. I'm going to see if I can touch that. Should be easily able to. Yay. We hit 85. I'm leaving a 20% throttle applied. And we're actually losing speed. So that is fine. Just experimenting a little up to 31. We should be gaining speed again, I think. Yeah, we found the butter zone at 85, it looks like. Between 20 and 31% throttle. That's another train coming. I can see the shadow already. That is one R52 coming in the distance. You may have noticed the changing in the light in the sky. I do have the original version of the Armstrong Powerhouse Sky and Weather Pack installed on this run, so that's why the lighting is shifting like it is. I don't remember it shifting like that before, so I'm actually like in other iterations of other routes, so I think that was a feature added by the Sky and Weather Pack. The clouds are definitely from that pack, I would say. Here is Howe Green. That means our next stop, or then our next station is our stop, is what I'm trying to say. So let's see how well the brakes work from an 85 mile per hour. I'm going to go ahead and bring the train back up, if I can, to the 85. We're going to go ahead and test the brakes at a certain percentage from 85. I want to see how well these brakes work. So from a mile out, I'm going to put the brakes on. There we go. 31% brake is coming down very nicely. That is coming down very nicely. In fact, I think I'm coming down at right the pace I want to. Maybe a little bit too quickly. Maybe it's going down just a little too quickly, but it's otherwise coming down at a great pace. Yeah, I'm going to ease it off because that is coming down quicker than I intended. So I've eased it off a little bit. Okay, well, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to take the brakes off, and I just went ahead and put a major application in. But we are coming into Widnes right now, so now we do want to make our stop. So heavier brake now to prepare our stop. I don't think our train will fully fit in the platform, so we're going to do what we can here. Right? I should have hit the brakes a little sooner, but we'll deal with that. We got enough for the train and the platform. In fact, all 4 cars are in. Mine isn't. And there we are. Arrival at Widnes, platform number 2. Leaving Widnes, our first group of passengers are being bussed to the Chatmoss destinations. Our next stop is Warrington Central, platform number 1. Note to self, I'm going to have to be quick with my screenshots. I have to remember with no timetable, it means that we're not going to be held to the clock. It's just going to be a quick 10, 20 seconds and off we go. So they're going to be quick screenshots going through here if we get them. So we should be passing the site of Widnes Junction, which led to an old part of the Widnes, or the railway in the Widnes area. The next station we should see is Sandkey Fort Penketh. And then there's going to be one more note I need to make. West Warrington is not on this route, but if you were to run the service on today's timetable, West Warrington would be on this route, and you would be passing by as part of this journey. So we're going to have to just act like West Warrington is in the area. Getting up to about 70 miles per hour at this time. Our speed limit remains 85 miles per hour. We're now over 80 miles per hour. I'm going to leave our speed around the 83, 84 area, which is what I would generally do. I just touched 85 for the purpose of the demonstration in that first section. So we're going to go ahead and leave the speed right here. We're on a 1 in 158 gradient here, which is not actually increasing our speed, but it might still be keeping us from losing too much speed. There's a 50 mile per hour section ahead as we approach the Warrington Central area. In fact, we might have already passed both stations by now. No, this is a Sankey for Pencath. Sorry, that's Sankey for Pencath right there. So Warrington West is going to be probably before that 50. So I'm going to give a look from above, if I can. Somewhere in this area is going to be where Warrington West is located. It's just not on this route. You can see the neighborhood. So Warrington West is probably in this area right here before the bridge is where I assume it would be. Before this bridge. So that would be Warrington West. So let's go ahead and bring the speed down in a hurry to get down to 50. I was too busy trying to show you the station area, which doesn't exist in this version of the map of the route. Little leg on the slowdown, interestingly. There you go. Perfect slowdown. Right to 50. No speeding. I must have responded successfully to an alert because the sunflower lamp was lit, and I was pushing Q just in case it happened while I was outside the cab. So I didn't see when it lit up, but apparently I did hit it. So no emergency brakes for me today. Yet. Now we're going to get this down to 40. We are successfully down in time. I kind of want to drop slightly further. There we go. We do continue to have a green signal up ahead. I have to say I like the wide view of the window in these cabs. You notice that you can see the entire top of the screen. It's all sky. Obviously, it narrows down where the train meets the controls, the body of the train. So everything does come down to restrict the lower view, but that's fine. The upper view is the best part. Warrington Central is right there, so we're going to put a little more brakes on to come in under 30 miles per hour. We're going to do a heavy brake to make sure we come to a stop, and then I'll ease it off. That should be a stop on command situation now. We should be all right. I did make it stop before the green signal, barely, and we have arrived at Warrington Central platform number 1. Stop at Deansgate for reversing to Manchester Victoria. Copy that. Leaving Warrington Central, we will make a normally not passenger stop at Deansgate. I'm surprised they didn't make this a passenger stop on this journey because, again, they could have had a bus service going to other stations along the line, but I guess they decided the Warrington Central bus would cover the entire route up to the split. So I guess even though we're stopping at Deansgate, they're not going to make it a passenger stop. We're just going to pull up, and that's going to be that. So we are leaving at a 75 mile per hour speed limit here. Now, in order to get to Warrington Central, there used to be a straight path through, so you notice we curved off. That was Sankey Junction back in the day. Remember, Sankey for Penketh? So Sankey Junction that was. We're going to be rejoining the original alignment right before Padgate at Padgate Junction. But again, the line that connects to Padgate Junction, gone. Not there anymore. It is something else today. In fact, I think the area where the Warrington avoiding line was is mostly still basically not used for anything now. Where there might have been crossings, there could be bridges over nothing, or there could be removed railway crossings now. I did not see that I'm at a 65. Oopsie. There's an 85 coming up, but I had not realized I was going into a 65. I forgot about that. My route knowledge is not up to par, apparently. So we're just going to go ahead and let that be an oopsie. Tea and biscuits next morning for me, I think. Done that twice now. So the station coming by is, of course, Penketh. Or Padgate, sorry. Padgate. Ooh. I think we're going to go over the M6 coming up here, and after that we're going to go through Birchwood. There's a railway crossing. Always make sure you use the footpaths. It is not safe to walk along the tracks if you don't know there's a train coming. These trains are fast and they will kill you. This is Birchwood. I didn't catch the M5 there, so not sure. I don't remember how it was represented back there. Unless I missed a station, that's possible. Nope, didn't miss a station. So according to what I have here, I think the next station is going to be Earlham. Another train going by, and I should watch my speed because I'm at my speed limit. Do not exceed 85. Somewhere in this area we cross the planned alignment of the high-speed 2 line. Yet to be constructed, I believe. Or maybe it is under construction. This high-speed line is supposed to take you up to Crewe, I believe. This would be Earlham. We're going to be coming up next to Flixton. And starting at Flixton, the stations are going to get a lot closer together. So we are going to see a number of them coming off in rapid fire at that point. Deansgate is only about 8.5 miles away. There are a number of stations before Deansgate. Flixton Station. Uphill grading is teasing me a little bit here. I'm down to 82 miles per hour at this stage. You know, I think I actually missed a station somewhere, because I think the Flixton Station is now the bridge coming up. That bridge precedes Flixton Station. If I have time, I'll try to put a note in as to what I missed here. Oh, darn it. Well, I think my tea and biscuits break just got extended. Now the downhill is getting me. I probably missed Flixton now trying to deal with my speed limit. Let's just verify where we are on the map when we get to the next one, shall we? I believe this would be Chasson Road. Quick peek at the map to confirm that. No, that's Flixton. That is Flixton. There you go. That was Flixton. So I missed the station. We'll verify that later. That means I now know the next station for sure is Chasson Road. And there it is. After that will be Urmston. And there's Urmston. The next station we'll be passing is Trafford Park. No, Humphrey Park, sorry. Humphrey Park, and then Trafford Park. There's an interesting intersection in this area to the south between Humphrey Park and Trafford Park. 7 roads meet at a single roundabout. That would be, in my opinion, the roundabout from hell. Easily the roundabout from hell. Now again, several of them are the same roads meeting on each side of the roundabout, so it's basically 3 through roads and 1 side road coming in that ends at that roundabout. This is Humphrey Park. I don't think we're going to have any view of that weird roundabout, but it's down in that direction somewhere, and we're going to be going over a road, I believe, that would take you to that roundabout. Right there, that road would take you to that really weird roundabout over here. So we're not going to be able to explore that in detail, but that's where it would be, I believe. So we're going to be passing through Trafford Park. And I might have been one street. No, that was the right spot. This is Trafford Park. 3 miles from Deansgate. We are going to be passing the Manchester football stadium or soccer stadium. Yes, I said it. Shoot me. That's still a little ways away, I believe. It's still about a mile away before we see that, I think. That might actually be it right there. That's the building. We have a 30 coming up, so I'm going to pay attention to putting some brakes on for the 30. That is my top priority right now. Got an alert there. There is Manchester United Football Stadium. Or soccer stadium. Yes, shoot me. I am from North America. We have a football already. Of course, there's less foot to ball than there is hands on bodies, but we won't discuss that. So a little detail regarding what just happened on the footage there. After passing Manchester Football United Stadium, my cutage just inexplicably cut, and I didn't get the end of the scenario, so you didn't get to hear any witty comments I made for that little last section of the scenario there. So we're just going to go ahead and retape it as we pass by this water feature I still don't know the name of. Between us and the metro tracks. The metros are about to go over it right now. There we are. So we are approaching Deansgate, which is about a mile and a quarter away. So right before Deansgate, we are going to see the Chat Moss rejoin. And at that point, we're going to be getting ready to stop because we're going to be reversing, obviously, onto the Chat Moss. Not me, not personally. Our scenario ends at Deansgate. But our train will be reversing onto the Chat Moss to head back to Manchester, Victoria via the Ordswell. Is it Ordswell Park or Ordswell Lane Junction? Something like that. Ordswell something junction. I hereby rename the Ordswell something junction. Christian, Gene. See, I'm not sure what happened with my footage on the previous run. Just, again, cut right off. I suddenly had no video. I don't remember pushing the stop button, so something made it stop, and I'm not going to ever know what, unfortunately. So things like that happen. You you retake shots if you need to, and that's what we're doing. See the metro lines above here, which I didn't mean to do that. Well, there has to be a mistake somewhere, right? I had to make a mistake somewhere. Oh, be quiet. Yes, it is. Thank you. There had to be a mistake somewhere. I was having a perfect run on this one, too, but had to be a mistake. I'm serious. I have no speeding penalties on the run I just redid. I'm absolutely serious. Perfect run. What I was trying to do was to hit the 2 key, but unfortunately I hit the W key instead, and since W causes you to lose your reverser, we didn't get a look at these lovely metro lines that are going on above us. So you can see the metro lines above the train here. We're going to eventually see another line coming in here. That, right there, is the Chat Moss line. So if we follow that to the end, as you can imagine, the Chat Moss line eventually just ends over here. And it's going to go out over there. So if I look at the map and show you that, there's where it ends right there. That's towards the Chat Moss line to Belton and Eccles. So there you go. I'm being a little too slow here. Mind you, I am reversing, but I want to get past the signal point anyway, so let's just get on the whole platform. Now, you would think that we would have a red signal at the end of Deansgate because we're not allowed to continue past Deansgate, but apparently the signals are not stopping us, which is very interesting. All right, I'm far enough along here so I can eventually reverse back as I need to. Let's look at the train as we finish. So we are now well beyond our stop point. We could have stopped a little earlier, but better to go beyond the signal, which is what we're doing. Of course, it's a red signal right now because the signaler has no clue what we're doing. Yeah, signalers are a little confused today, apparently. But we are going to be reversing back into that line. Thank you, driver. Hope you had a smooth run. Another driver will take over from here to Newcastle. Okay, I think it's to Manchester Victoria, but we'll just go with it. It's a wrong message. We're going to be resuming at Manchester Victoria. Just we're taking our break, our mandated union break. Make sure to tune in next time for the next part. Naturally, I've already taped the other two parts here, so this part 2 will be on the Huddersfield line, part 3 on the DPS route, northeast. The East Coast Main Line northeast. So come back for the Huddersfield line next time. I'll see you for that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Cyclone. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for you. You're a part of the world. See you next time. Bye-bye.